Hey there, YTPC, New Jersey Piper Ben here, coming to you guys this evening from my garage. Having a little bit of rain tonight, so couldn't get set up on the front porch. Having some Sam Galwith Squadron leader in my 7LE veneer 703 king size. So my last video kind of got me thinking about concerts and live shows and things like that. So I was just kind of filtering to shows I've been to before that were just surprising in one way or another, or just caught me totally off guard. So I mentioned in that video, my good friend from back in South Carolina, he used to submit to cover shows for his website. And he had a pretty decent Nikon digital camera. And so he'd get, reviewer tickets from the artist's management. And sometimes they'd give him 2 tickets. So he'd get a photography ticket and a reviewer ticket. So oftentimes I would go with him to these shows. And there was one show in particular, little town called York, South Carolina, which is about 45 minutes southwest of Charlotte. Was an act coming through that town in their little town theater. And the gentleman's name is Richie Havens. Richie Havens was pretty much the guy that opened Woodstock with his sort of very compelling folk song Freedom. And that performance is easy to find on YouTube and things, as are other of his performances, which are really good. So the theater was so small, my friend actually set up in the balcony, to shoot the show, because he had, the zoom lens and everything. So he could pretty much get everything he needed from the balcony for that show. And again, a fairly small, just sort of community theater type setup. I would guess no more than 100 seats at the most. It's a very intimate setting. And sadly, there were not a lot of people there. So, an act like, Richie Havens, not a super well-known act, I would say. Historically significant for sure. And an amazing musician for sure, as I was soon to find out. But small town South Carolina, it was honestly kind of strange that he was there, but I'm really glad he came and did that show. So again, not a lot of people in the theater. I'm struggling to commit to there being more than 15 or 20 people in this theater. Which again, it's sad, but I get it. Demographics being what they are. But it was just Richie. He plays acoustic guitar, and he had like a backup guitarist with him. It was just, each of them were sitting on little stools. And the backup guitarist is mainly playing sort of rhythm, more fill-in type parts with Richie playing lead. And again, I didn't know his catalog. I don't own any of his albums and didn't back then. I just knew, he opened Woodstock and he had that, pretty amazing performance to kick off Woodstock. But man, from the moment that show got started until the end of it, you're sitting there just totally captivated by what you're seeing and just honestly trying to catch your breath the entire time. And again, just him, an acoustic guitar, and another guy with an acoustic guitar. But he plays so ferociously. I mean, it blew my mind. Both my friend and I were sitting there the entire show just kind of like not really believing what we were seeing and just totally blown away by the performance. To this day, I've never seen that much soul and passion being projected from a stage by one guy and an acoustic guitar. You think of a setting like that, and you what your mind conjures is not what we saw that night. It conjures sort of a laid back type of thing and sort of a easygoing show, intimate, which is, okay. That word doesn't necessarily have any connotation around the performance, but yeah, just seeing him kind of set up and just kind of sit there and kindly introduce himself, a very gentle guy. At that point, probably in his late 60s, early 70s. Sadly, he passed in 2013. This was, if I had to guess, gosh, my memory's horrible, but I'd have to guess this was probably around, 2005, 2006, somewhere in that neighborhood. But yeah, I mean, he played as hard and as good as any guitarist I've ever seen play live. And I've seen Page and Plant, Kiss, ELO, David Bowie, Paul McCartney. Yeah, but of all the concerts and shows I've been to, that one show still sticks out in my mind as like the biggest oh damn moment I think I've ever experienced. It's just, again, just the circumstances of it all, and again, going into it not knowing what to expect at all, and just seeing what transpired on that stage, and that man just ripping his soul out and bearing it to everybody who was, willing to witness it and absorb it. I mean, I don't know if it would have mattered if there were two people in that room. He was there to perform, and damn it if we didn't get our money's worth. Money's worth. I mean, we got free tickets, but geez, I mean, if knowing what I knew after that show, I would have paid whatever the hell it cost to go to that show for sure. It was pretty amazing. So again, just YouTube Richie Havens. He's got a really good cover of Here Comes the Sun, the Beatles song. There's some longer live performances that are there on YouTube that are obviously free to watch. So yeah, check it out. Good stuff. All right, take care, guys. Have a great evening.